Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we've just finished the week of Arena. I want to show you some different Arena strategies. My top 3 strategies for Arena offense to get you as high as possible in the Arena and to get you these juicy medals so that when you're looking at your Great Hall, you might need a pair of these. Anyway, so what we're going to look at is, I'm just going to show you quickly actually my items I got for Plat this week. So I got 6 items of the new legendary sets. I was only able to keep a few of them, so I don't have any to build a set yet. So I've actually, out of the 6 items I've got, I've kept 3. Some nice pieces here starting to come through, but I'd imagine for most people that are playing this game, it would take a good maybe 4 weeks at least of staying in Plat to be able to get any sort of sets going here. And I really would kind of like some of this set going on. So what we're going to show you then, 3 different strategies, all of which are really effective in the Arena. All of them quite different, but reliant on speed. This is going to be a guide around Arena offense, how to quickly farm your medals, and the best ways to do it. So I'm going to start off with the Cleave. The Cleave is probably the most common Arena offense that you'll see in the game. It's relying on a speed lead, and if you guys are trying to find yourself a speed lead and you're not sure who there is, you can literally go into this site here, ayumilove.net. Down the right hand side, you've got all the different kind of things in the game, like debuffs, buffs, etc. You can click on Aura Speed, and then you can come down a bit further and it will say Speed Auras by location. We've got some here which are all battles and some which are just for the Arena. These are the champions that you want to put as your speed lead. Somebody who's going to speed you up before you even go in the Arena. Really important to have one of these if you're going for this type of strategy. So some of these are sort of lower champions like Spirit Host, like Rares, up to epics like a Skull Crown, Jingle Hunter, and then up to legendaries like Fushan, Arbiter, etc, etc. So you can click on any of these. So I could click on Jingle and just say, right, what is the aura that we get here? So you can scroll down and it says Jingle Hunter is going to increase your speed by 24% in the Arena. What does that mean in the game? An aura will only boost your stats by your base level. So if I had an aura for this tournament, I would only get an increased boost on the 94, not the 94 plus 97. If you look at it in the Great Hall, oh no, don't show you there. Sorry, don't show you there. But yeah, it would only be on the 94. So bear that in mind. You want a speed lead for a Cleave. You then want a speed booster. So Arbiter is probably the best one in the game. But you know, someone like an Apothecary equally as good. And again, on that same site, you can go on a instant turn meter, and you'll see all the champions that do a turn meter boost. This is going to be your first person to go. This should be your fastest person in your team. He is going to be the person, or she is going to be the person that is going to speed the rest of your team along and give them the advantage. Now, when they've got the advantage, you need to work out how much of an advantage are they giving you. So Arbiter here fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. So what you need to do is you need to look at the Arbiter speed. So my Arbiter is pretty quick, 352. I need to get my next champion within 30% speed of the Arbiter. And it doesn't mean reduce Arbiter's speed by 30%. It means you need to multiply up the next person's by 30%. So whatever speed you get to, you need to times by 1.3 to see if you're fast enough to stay in tune with your Arbiter. Really important to do it that way around, not the other way around, because you might find you're still too slow. So you then have a second person to go who's going to drop defense. That's how the Cleave works. Speed into drop defense into damage. So my drop defense champion here is going to be a Stag Knight. So we want this skill here, decrease defense on an AoE. Tyrell does it, Zargala does it, tons of people do it, Belua does it in a small way. Again, you can look at Yumi Love, find those champions. War Maiden does it as a rare. Simple. You then go into your Nuke. So somebody who's fast enough to still do damage. Let's show it in action. Oh. Fast enough to do damage. So let's throw Stag Knight in there for my drop defense. Well, actually, I could take her out. I could throw Skull Crown in as my speed lead. I could throw Apothecary in as my booster. I could throw War Maiden even in as my decreased defense. But we'll do it with Stagnite in this situation, so I know that he's fast enough. And then we need someone to come in at the end as our nuke damage. Now, if you've got a Skull Crown, she can actually be your speed lead and your nuke, which is a kind of nice setup to have. Who do I know is fast enough, though? Let's get my Foley in, because he is a nuke. If I can find him. There he is. And the idea of this is you need to be fast. You need to go first. We get a speed boost off. We get decreased defense off on the enemy. You've got to be aware of weak hits like we just had there. And then you get your damage to go down. Okay, and if you've got Skull Crown as your speed lead, then even better, because you get a second chance of that nuke. But that's the idea of the Cleave. By the time the enemy have a turn, hopefully two or three of their team are dead, and you'll be able to just slam them down and finish the job. It's a really effective way to farm medals quickly and efficiently. So the Cleave is the easiest thing to put together. You can do it right from the off, whether you're a new player to the game or whether you are experienced in the game. It's going to work well for you, especially when you're at this kind of reset and you just want to farm your way up to your proper elo. Even at your proper elo, though, it's still the most used tactic in the game because it's so effective. You can see here, we're just slamming our way through the enemies, and this is not a team I've set up for the arena. I'm literally just throwing these together. Foley is the only champion there that's in my normal arena teams. So that's the Cleave. What we're going to do next is show you the Tactical Nuke. Tactical Nuke, second tactic, and probably the one I use the most. It gives you a bit more protection. So this is about, same thing, speed lead. So we still want to go first. Speed lead into control. Control can be in a number of ways. So you might have an AoE freeze champion, like a Gurga. Gurga throws out AoE freeze. In this instance, 100% chance to freeze, so all enemies are going to be frozen. That means that you've got as much time as you need to get your nukes away. So you can have a really slow nuke champion. If I was to do it like this, I could have my Skull Crown, who has got, not that one, 105 speed, and she would still go before the enemy. That's how effective it is. So we've got freeze as an option. You've got stuns as an option. So I've got a Nephril somewhere. He might be in a vault, actually, is he? No, he's out here. AoE stun. Yeah, and AoE drop turn meter. Same sort of effect. You can have people like a Husk. AoE stun. Yeah, there's a Luthia, is it? Whoever this person is. Has got an AoE freeze. So you just need somebody to go in and control the enemy. AoE daze will do the job. Anybody that's going to stop the enemy having their turn will do the job. So speed into control into damage. Sorry, I forgot one other type of control, which is a really effective one actually, is to put the target's skills on cooldown. Warlord does this amazingly well, but there's also now Cillian block cooldown skills. So basically what that means is all of these type of abilities, they stop the enemy doing anything but their A1s. So you go in, you speed up, you put everyone onto their A1s to give your nukers time to get into the game. They're going to come at you with A1s, which is not going to do too much damage, and then you're going to slam them with your nuke. So really effective way of doing it as well. Ray with a freeze, Kaimar with a daze. You know, there's tons of legendaries that do this stuff really well. But you've also got people like Miscreant Monster, AoE chance to stun. Not as high, 50, but still 2 people out of the game. It's going to be effective. So that's what you're looking for. And then you go into your nuke. So if I show you this in action as well. If you want more detailed views on any of these tactics, leave a comment below. Let me know. I don't mind picking up each one of these individually and showing it with a bit more detail. Kind of rushing through it here. But speed lead into AoE stun. You can either then go for drop defense and nuke, or you could just go for nuke. So I could go nuke and, I don't know, nuke. So the things you're looking for your control are put skills on cooldown, freeze, stun, or maybe even provoke. Provoke's a nice one as well. So here we go. We're going to go first. We're going to try and put as many of these people in a stun as possible. We've got 3 away there. We're going to go AoE damage, and then we're going to go full nuke. So tactical nuke, basically what's happened here, we're against a team of absolute tanks. and basically they are not going to get much of a turn. So I've actually probably killed the wrong one there, because he is going to be the one who's going to do me a ton of damage. But it's fine. I'm going to take out the burn champ. We're going to go in and finish off this fella. He's stunned actually, so I'll finish off this fella first, and then we can just auto it away. But you see there, by the time they managed to get any attacks off, we'd already done too much damage. And that's why it's a slower tactic, but it's more effective if you're in control of the game yourself. So I can show you it again with a freeze kind of comp. Let's take her out and put in, excuse me, someone like a Draco. So this is like high-end legendary team, of course. But we basically go speed into freeze, into a bit of damage, and then we drop the defenses, and we get our AoE nuke. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. We can also do, so if we take the freeze out, if we want to go for somebody like a provoke, you could throw in an umbral for provoke, or Morley, or anyone that does AoE provoke will do the same job. And then we can do drop defense and nuke. So it's, all of these are the same idea. So we get drop defense, actually that's coming off first. And my speed tuning should have had umbral next, but it doesn't really matter. Throw the AoE provokes on. Firstly, it does a ton of damage. She's a great champion anyway. But we're just warming up for the main event, who's going to be our Skull Crown, who's going to slam them down, say goodnight, and that is going to be the tactical nuke. So lastly then, I want to show you the blender. The blender is a really fun composition. It relies on you having an ally attack champion. So we do the same thing, speed lead. It doesn't need to be Arbiter, but for me it is, because that's where I've got all my speed, but you can use any of the speed leads into an ally attack champion. I've got a Lanicus here. You could use a Catacomb Counselor, you could, who is here. You could use a Longbeard. You could use any of the ally attack champs. Again, if you don't know if you've got one or not, go on Yumi Love. Look for instant ally join attack. And here you go. You've got Crusader, Hyria, Lady Atessa, Lanicus, Longbeard, Sergeant. All of these have got some form of ally attack champion skill. So what we do is we go speed into ally attack, and then you have two slow champions that both have AoE. And what you do is you stack them full of damage. A really perfect combo for this is to have a Skull Crown. So see this, super slow, 105 speed, massive attack, good crit damage, don't care about anything else. It needs to be an AoE champion. So Bellower can work, Zephyr Sniper can work, anyone who's got an A1 AoE. Your ally attack brings in your A1s, and then you slam the enemy all at one go. So Skull Crown works really well because she hits twice. And then if you follow it up with a Senacia, who partners with Skull Crown, she follows up with twice as well. So she becomes, these two together become insane. So these stats, I've not built her for this, but I've just kind of quickly thrown some gear on. But if you see this in action, this is a tactic I really like. And you do have to be aware of where people are positioned in your team. So speed into ally attack, into nuke, into second nuke. Just want to make sure that's the right one. No, it's not. Is that the same one I just picked? Yeah. This one. Okay. So what's going to happen is, in the same way as counter attack works, your ally attack will use this person first, then this person, then this person, then this person. So if you're using a Skull Crown Senacia combo, you definitely want Senacia to be your last person in the combo. If you're using anyone who's got an A1 decreased defense, is there one? Don't know if there is one. But anyone who's going to do a debuff as their first hit, make sure they go before your final nuke. If you've got anyone who hits harder when people have got low health, for example, I don't know, anything like that, you just need to be aware. So we speed up, we go straight into our ally attack, and we choose a target we want to take down. So in this instance, I probably want to take the Reviver down. but we should hopefully take most of them down anyway. Now, we did get frozen there, and that's something you do need to be aware of. If I build this team properly for me, I will put both of these ally attack champions in immortal gear. It's actually really important. Otherwise, this can happen. So this is a good example of what can happen when you're fighting a tournament. But I mean, we're lucky we got ways to get around it in this setup. But yeah, for end game, if you're thinking end game, then you absolutely want to make sure that your team are in immortal gear for this sort of setup. So are we going to do this? Maybe just about. Yeah, you just got to be aware of the amount of buffs you're doing, and ally attack with Lanicus actually boosts turn meter. So that's why everyone got frozen there. So we can just... I think we just put skills on cooldown. Ally attack again. And we kill him. So we just about got through that. But yeah, if those two were in a mortal set, then we would have been fine. I'll show it when you're not facing a Torment. And the good thing about this one is it's actually a really effective, fast way to farm medals. So see that, we've cleared the whole team in a matter of seconds. It's going to be a really quick farm. For me, especially when I'm trying to get through to the sort of level of rank that I should be. So I can just throw the auto on, we get the ally attack straight out, we get massive nukes going in, and pretty much by the time they get a turn, they're already in trouble. Already in trouble or already absolutely dead. So this blender technique is great as well for an arena defense because it works so well on auto, but you've got to set it up right. You need to test it in an actual fight first and make sure it's flowing in the way you think it should. Are the right people attacking in the right order? Have you got enough damage? You don't need any speed at all on your two other champions. You just need out and out damage, and I don't have that right now, but if I did, every team I'm facing would be dropping straight away. So you see again, slam, slam, all dead, lots of big numbers, and down they go. I probably wouldn't take on a Hegemon team with it because it's not right. It's also just be aware about tanky teams, because have you got enough damage to deal with them? Or would you rather just go with that kind of Cleave team instead? But if you can take out half of the enemy before they even have a turn, then there's a good chance you're going to win the game. Be aware of resurrection champions like this as well, because they can stuff you up. But you get the idea, guys. It is just a nice tactic to use if you're trying to farm medals relatively quickly, and you're not against people like this. We should get our ally attack back soon. It's also important when you're doing any of these sort of strategies to make sure that you set your masteries in the right way, and I'll go into that just in a second. So hopefully we can just get the nukes off when we get her to go again. Just got to be aware of this one. She's the problem. So we'll try and take her down now. Nearly there. When you're trying to do a fast strategy and it takes you half an hour to win a fight. Okay. Yes, I'll run through masteries now. Masteries are really important when we're doing this because you want to get the absolute most out of your damage. So if you're trying to do any sort of nuke team like the blender or the tactical nuke on your nuke champion, so let's pick one up here. You can go one or two ways. You can either go for a kind of full damage build. So I probably would have been better off taking this one here. Increases damage when I'm attacking with full HP. This is a really important skill. Increase damage when you're first hit by 8%. Now you can either go Helm Smasher for your final one, which will ignore some defense. I would advise you do this if you're doing a tactical nuke or a Helm Smasher. Or a blender. And then this is a nice line for the chance to get counter attack from your kind of AoE nuke champions. Just in case you don't go first, it just gives you that kind of chance to come back. So guys, that has been 3 top strategies for the arena. Let me know your thoughts below. Are you using them? Is there anything else that you do that's really effective? Would you like to see any of those in a bit more detail? If you would, put a note below. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you all soon.